Hello friends, in this video we are going to see how to add a node or a slave machine to your Jenkins. These are the steps we are going to see in this video. For the first thing, configure a remote machine for agent. Okay, we need to have a machine. It would be a remote machine or any other machine that you wanted to add as an agent or a node or a slave. We need to have one. Let me show you. I have two EC2 instances created. One is for master, another one is for a slave. I will show you. This is my master and my Jenkins is installed and I have a job. If you want to understand how to create a job, please look into my previous videos and you will get to know how to create a job and reach this page. This is my slave machine, which I am going to link it to a master so that I can execute jobs from master machine to a slave. So I can pass my jobs to execute on a node. You can add n number of nodes. For now, in this demo, I'm going to add a node and I'll explain you about a node configuration. What are the different configurations that you can do. And I'll run a job on a node machine and I'll walk you through that. Let's look at the steps. The first one, configure remote machine for agent. Configure a remote machine for agent means I need to configure my agent with a required configuration. Let's say a Java. If you want to run a job which requires a Java, I would suggest install a Java. Be prepared with that. Install a Java and set your Java home. So for now, what I'm going to run, it's a simple project. I don't even need Java. But to connect a machine, if I am using launch a node using Java Web Start, I really required. I'll show you that step in the node configuration. This step is good. I have a remote machine, I have Java installed. Now I'm going to add a node. This is my master machine. To add a node, go to Jenkins, manage Jenkins. You have manage nodes and cloud section. Once you come here, you can click a new node. If you want to add a node, click a new node. It will take you to creation page. You can give a node name. It should be unique. I'm going to give Windows agent. I'm selecting a permanent agent. Since we don't have any nodes which already created, so we are just seeing only a permanent agent. If you have an agent already added, you would be seeing another option like a copy. So you would be able to copy that configuration. Click OK. Now we are on the Jenkins node configuration. So this is the name of the node, Windows agent. This should be unique. The description we can provide node to run QA automation. Number of executors. By default, the number of executors would be 1, but this is really helpful for you to run a multiple jobs on a single node. This you can increase the n number of executors, which means parallelly you can give that number of jobs on a single node. If I put a 9, the 9 jobs, they can be executed on this. This is an interview question. People will be asking you, how many number of executors can I have on a node? But for this, you can say n number of nodes can be added. But when I try to see giving more number, like a large number, more than an integer range, this is not working. I can tell you, you can give a max of integer range, which would be, if my memory goes right, 214,748,3647. This is the max range of an integer. If you try to increase one more, it says not a number. So only the max integer range you can use, the max number of an integer, you would be able to have an executor count. That's all. For now, I'm going to have one, and the remote root directory. This root directory is for a master machine on the Windows agent, which means when you are running a job from a master to a node machine, when you are parsing the job, this master machine should have a directory where it can execute on the agent. I'll show you this. Let me give c:/Jenkins. Assume this is my directory. So I'm going to create this directory in my slave machine. This is my slave. Let me delete this. I think I have already have created. Now I come back to the master, and this is my root directory. And labels. You can give a label to this node, QA automation. You can give any name, any meaningful name which represents the label. Using this label, you can restrict specific jobs to execute on this node. You can block the other jobs. If you are not using this label, any job can, if this node is available, any job will execute over there. The job will get parsed. I'll show you how to restrict using this label and where it would be useful when we are doing the job configuration. Give any meaningful name for this label. And usage. Use this node as much as possible, or only build jobs with label expression matching this node. If you want to use this node only for jobs which labeled with this label name, you can give that. Else you can use this node as much as possible. I'm going to use only build jobs with a label expression matching this node. So this node will execute only the jobs which are marked or restricted to execute on this label. Next one is the launch method. Launch agent by connecting it to the master. There are different options available how you can launch the agent. The first option, launch agent by connecting it to the master. If you are aware, in the Jenkins 2.17x, I believe, before that version, the Jenkins 2.17x, it was a Java web start. And after that, the option has changed to launch agent by connecting it to the master. The next one, launch agent via execution of command on the master. If you select this option, you would be able to, your master should be able to run a command on the Windows agent to establish a connection via SSH or RSH. That's another option. The third one, launch agent via SSH. If you select this, you need to provide a host and credentials and how you're going to verify your key verification strategy we need to provide. But for this video, for a demo purpose, I'm going to select the first one. Okay. And I'm leaving the remaining with the defaults. And the availability. This is very important. If you know this, you can effectively use this node. Keep this agent online as much as possible, which means your agent, it tries to keep your agent online, even because of some network failures. If the machine goes offline, it goes down, it will be keep on re-attempting to bring the machine online. Irrespective of whether your jobs are running or not, it will try to keep your machine always available. Okay. The next one, bring this agent online according to a schedule, which means startup schedule time. You can schedule If you look at my previous video, build periodically, I have explained how to schedule a job, but still there is a hint here. You can go on, you can read this, understand, which means you would be providing the time when this machine has to be enabled. It should bring the node to online and available. And the next one, you need to provide scheduled uptime, which means how many number of minutes this machine has to be up and running after it scheduled to be on online. Okay. If you look the number of minutes to keep the node up for, if this is longer than the startup schedule, then the node will be remain constantly online. Okay. And there is a checkbox, keep online while jobs are running. I would advise always use this checkbox, check this checkbox, because you're scheduled to bring your machine online by assuming 7 o'clock in the morning, and you kept for a 60 minutes, which means your machine will be up and available till 8 o'clock. But still your jobs are running. If you don't select this checkbox, if you didn't select this, your machine will go offline and it will terminate the remaining scripts. If you select this, if any of the job is running, this will not bring your machine offline. This will wait until the jobs are completed, only then it will take the machine offline. Okay. And the next option, bring this agent online when in demand and take offline when ideal. This also has an advantage, in demand delay, which means if your machine is not available and your job has triggered, which will be waiting for the next available agent. If you look at this, the number of minutes for which job must have been waiting in the queue before Jenkins will attempt to bring this agent online. You can mention, like, let's say at 15. If your job is in queue for 15 minutes, only then it will try to bring the node online. And this is an ideal delay time. This means the number of minutes that this agent must remain ideal before Jenkins will take it offline. So once your job gets completed, and if you give 5, it will wait for ideal 5 minutes. Only then the Jenkins will take it offline. Okay. I'm going to keep this agent online as much as possible for this demo. And the node properties. Mostly we would be using these environment variables. If we select this, you can add an environment variable. These variables are available for all the builds which are running on this node. If you are running multiple jobs on this node, and if you want to have a single variable, a parameter or a variable, that you can add it here, that will be available for all the builds which are running on this node. I'm going to deselect this. Okay, these are the mandatory configurations required, and we need to do that. Once again, I'll walk you through. Name should be unique, and you can give any description. Number of executors, you can have n number of executors, and saying that it should not be more than the integer maximum range, max number. Okay, max number of executors is 214.748.3647. The remote root directory. This is the directory on the Jenkins machine where master will be using that directory. Jenkins master machine needs a directory on the agent, that is this. And this is the label name which you are going to restrict jobs on this node using this label, and usage matching this label expression. Launch method. There are 3 options. I'm going to use the first one, and I'll show you how I'm going to launch this, establish a connection between a master and a node. And availability, Let's save this. Once you save this, you can see a node is added, Windows agent, but it is offline. You can see here, this is offline. Click on this Windows agent. Yes, JNLP agent port is disabled and agents cannot connect this way. Okay, to enable this, if you click this link, it will take you, but I'm not going to click this and I'll show you how to get there. Go to Jenkins, manage Jenkins, configure global security, come down to the agent section, select random. I would suggest select a random, or you can select a fixed if you have a fixed port to run. But if you select random, that's the best option. Don't select disabled and save this configuration. Let's come back to our agent. Click on this agent. Now you can see there are different options it is giving you to launch the agent. One thing, connect agent to Jenkins one of these ways. First option is launch agent from browser. What you can do is you can take this URL and click on launch on the Windows agent so that the connection will get established. And the other option is you can run this command on the agent machine. I'm going to show you the second option. Since the first option is it's a very straightforward, you'll just click a launch and the connection will establish. Let's go to the slave machine, the agent, taking this URL. Okay, this is the URL. Okay, of course, the local host will not work here. I need to replace this local host with the master machine IP address. Let me get the master machine IP. This is my master machine. Okay, perfect. Now we can see this node. As I mentioned, I'm going to show you on the second one. I need this agent.jar. Let me see if I have that. Okay. I'm going to download this agent.jar. You can keep this agent.jar file wherever you like, but I'm going to put this under C Jenkins. This is my agent. Copy C Jenkins. I'm keeping the agent here. Now what you need to do is launch a command prompt from that folder, C Jenkins. Take this command. Run it here. Before you run, make sure you change the local host with the master IP. What is that IP? This is our master IP address. So I need to replace the local host. Okay, perfect. Now it is running and it's connected. Okay, it says it is connected. Now if you refresh this page, you can see this agent is connected. It is online. Let's go back to our master machine and see the connectivity. This is our master machine. Let's refresh. Okay, The node is connected. Let's go to nodes. You can see this machine is online. You're not seeing a red cross mark here because this is online. Now let's go to our job. Jenkins, this is the job. Go to a configuration. Okay. As we have a label for that node, I'm going to restrict this job on the node using the label. If it is nothing here, just type QA automation. That is the label name you mentioned for that node. Okay. You can see label QA automation is serviced by one node. Okay. And under the build section, I'm just executing a echo command. It'll just print a hello world. That's all. I'm not executing any automation test cases. Just I'm showing you how to connect and whether this hello world will execute on the node machine. Just echo hello world. Just save this. So far, we have covered first step, second step, and launch node, establish a connection. Now we are at this step, execute job on a node machine, and we have already seen this. It should be 3. Okay, we have already seen this, how to restrict a job with a label name. I'm going to run this now. Let's go to our master machine. To avoid a confusion, I'm going to close this. That is our slave, and this is our master machine. Click build now. You can see a job is running. It's finished and success. Since this is just a command and echo hello world, this is not going to take much time. But you can see here building remotely on Windows agent. You can see this job is executed on a Windows agent that is labeled with a QA automation. Since you have given the root directory C Jenkins, in the agent is use this C Jenkins and created a workspace folder. Inside the workspace, another folder for a job. Okay. Now let's go to the slave machine. This is the slave machine. See. Earlier we just kept only agent.jar file here, but now you are seeing a remoting and a workspace. Go to workspace and you can see a folder is created for this job. Since we are not having any files or nothing is placed for this job, so this is going to be empty. There is nothing inside this. But if you have your Maven or a Java project, everything will be placed under this job, and then it will execute. Your test.ng file or a POM file or your classes, everything, the source folder, all will be copied here, and then it will start executing. Okay. Yes, I think I covered this one. Run the job on an agent and walk through the working directory, and you can. There is one more point I wanted to mention here. Let's go to a master machine node configuration. Let's go to a Jenkins, Windows agent, go to nodes. You would ask me, what if I have number of executors, more than one? If you are running 2 jobs on a same node, how it is going to share the workspace? Will it override the first one? Of course not. It should not override, because two threads, two executors are dealing with the two different projects. Assume your first executor is dealing with one project, the second executor is dealing with the other project. How the workspace will be managed in the slave machine workspace directory. If you go to your slave machine workspace directory, you can see another folder test job at the rate 2, which means the second executor that creates another folder stating the job name at the rate 2. So you can execute same job twice, job name at the rate 2. If it is a different job, it will just create another folder and it will move on. That's how it manages the workspace. Don't get confused. In the interview, people used to ask how many executors you can have and how the workspace will be managed in the slave machine. You can explain n number of executors saying the max integer max value, and if the same job is going to create two different folders, one with the job name, the second one job name at the rate 2 and at the rate 3, it will continue like that. If there are different jobs, for each job, it's going to create another folder. That's all. I hope you understand this video. If you have any questions, please comment in the comment section. In the next video, I'm going to explain how to create a dynamic node using Amazon EC2 plugin. That would be really helpful, and that is an auto scalable. You don't even need to care about how many nodes you will be having. You can auto scalable. The nodes will be keep provisioning in the AWS. If you have the EC2 plugin configuration, that is more interesting topic I'm going to cover in the next video. Please stay tuned. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video.